Live and in color from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, it's 1969 World Series Baseball. As the New York Mets meet the Baltimore Orioles for game number 1.
All right, let's set up the Orioles defensively. Luke Powell's at first base. Dave Johnson's at second. Mark Belanger's at shortstop. And Brooks Robinson at third. It's a brilliant infield for the Orioles. In left field, Don Buford. Paul Blair's in center field. And Frank Robinson is the right fielder. Ellie Hendricks will be catching. And Mike Cuellar, 32 years old, the starting pitcher of the 69 series for the Orioles.
Giants, the man who is right now in the road.
Born in Cuba, lives now in Puerto Rico. His 13th professional season. He started the season with Montreal, was traded to the Mets in mid-June, and he helped the Mets the rest of the way. 2 delivery. Struck him out, and the Mets were gone in the top of the first. No runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, 1 man left. Middle of the first inning to score. The Mets nothing. The Orioles are coming to bat. Now let's set up the Mets defensively. Don Clendenin's at first base. Al Weiss at second. Bud Harrelson to shortstop. Ed Charles is at third. Cleon Jones in left field. Tom Agee's in center. Ron Swoboda, the right fielder. Jerry Grody, the catcher. And Tom Seaver, the pitcher. Incidentally, they didn't make too many mistakes in the field during this past season. And there's the winningest pitcher in the major leagues this year, 24-year-old Tom Seaver. Outstanding promise then, and is developing into one of the real stars of the game. Don Buford hit .291 during the season. A rolling curve is a changeup. A high drive into deep right. Swoboda backing up, drawing a bead right in front of the wall and can't get it. Buford leads off with a home run.
Seaver to give up a home run in better than 200 innings. Kurt, right now Seaver's leaning a little bit more on that breaking stuff of his rather than his best equipment, which is supposed to be that good hard fastball. But there was a fastball.
1 out. I think Robinson's been consistent. A lifetime average in the National League of .303 and a lifetime average in the American League of .303. The outfield deep in the step toward left. Struck him out on a high fastball.
3-2 pitch.
Hit .235 for the season, 9 homers, 52 RBI. On deck and then Grody. Second strikeout for Cuellar. The 2-2 pitch. And out goes Ed Charles. That's the 3rd strikeout in a row now for Mike Cuellar.
No score is.
He hit .287. Had 2 homers, 51 runs batted in. Charlie Lau, the
Of course, his fielding range is even better, Kurt.
There's a ground ball to third. And that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Tom Seaver. So at the end of 2 innings, the score, the Baltimore Orioles 1 and the New York Mets nothing.
Inning number 3.
Good speed. Sticking a base hit now and then. Gonna swing. Struck him out. 4 strikeouts for Cuellar. Games played, RBIs, runs, total bases, times at bat, and strikeouts. Ground ball to short. Belanger to Johnson for 1 on the first. Double play. An easy double play. The Mets are all out in the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 2.5, Baltimore 1 and New York nothing.
Did we go to the last of the 3rd?
Cuellar got a hand when he came up. The first pitch to him was ball 1. The 2-2 pitch. That is strikeout number 3 for Tom Seaver. Don Buford's done, I think, a very nice thing. He's invited his old college coach and his son to be his guest here at the World. Bounding ball to the right side. Weiss can't make a play. received a telegram before the game. Some fellow at Trinity University down in San Antonio. There he goes. Curveball hit the third. Ed Charles up with it. And the Orioles are out in the third. No runs, no hits. There was one error, one man left. At the end of 3, it is Baltimore 1 and New York nothing.
This side.
Bringing Hilliard to the...
There's a drive in the left center for a base hit. They're trying to cut it off. It goes to the fence. Glendenon will have extra bases and is in with a stand-up double. The Mets have their second hit. Each team now has 2 hits. The Orioles are leading 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Fly ball, right center. Paul Blair going for it. Has a beat on it. And the Mets are out of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. 3.5 innings gone. The Baltimore Orioles 1 and the New York Mets nothing.
Rolling tonight.
2 down, nobody on. Hendricks' plate is a pull hitter to right. Base hit by Hendricks. The third hit for the Orioles, their first hit since the first inning. Four, and the Orioles have runners on first and second, and that's the first walk given up by Tom Seaver. Belanger grounded to third his first time up. To right. Swoboda is firing to the plate. The throw is off. The throw to third is not in time. Belanger singles to right. Orioles all season. The pitcher Mike Cuellar is up. He struck out his first time. It's a little looper. Base hit in the left center. In to score is Dave Johnson. Belanger stops at second, and Cuellar helps his own cause. And he doesn't want a warm-up jacket. 4 Orioles in a row have reached base. 3-0 Baltimore. There's a drive to right field. That's into the corner. Coming in to score is Belanger. Cuellar's going to third. And in the second goes Buford with his speed. A double. Rube Walker, the Met pitching coach, coming out. Seaver was sailing along. He had Johnson walk, Belanger single in a run, Cuellar single in a run, and Buford's double in a run. Ron Taylor warming up. Curve is hit to third. Charles up with it. And that's it. 8 men went to the plate. 3 runs for the Orioles. 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 left. At the end of 4 innings, it's Baltimore 4 and New York nothing.
Third, Herman Marquez.
He has struck out 4 and walked 1. Bounding ball to Robinson, backs him up, a hurry-up throw, right on the button. 4 chances for Brooks Robinson in the game. When he was over with the Dodgers.
I'm sure the people in Brooklyn watching today, Kurt, feel that Cox is the greatest they've ever watched. The people here in...
Fly ball to right. Frank Robinson. Right fielder, 2 down. Brody has grounded out his first time up, and now Al Weiss is coming up.
We're teaching him quite a bit about how to play third base.
2 down. Weiss hits it to Robinson. Look at that tricky hop, and throws him out. That's the best fielding play of the game so far. That was a tough hop for him, Bill.
He stayed right with it, Kurt. It didn't fool him one bit. He had the glove down in good position, reached the glove down quickly, turned the neck, made the good hard throw right from the third base side, and right on target to Powell to just get the runner by 1 or 2 good strides.
So the Mets are down in order, and at the end of 4.5 innings, the score, the Baltimore Orioles 4 and the New York Mets nothing.
Rockies will...
Thank you, Kurt, and hello again, everybody. Seaver's only been really roughed up in 1 inning. That was last inning when the Birds... Deep left center field. This is A.G. in front of the warning track with a lot of room. And 1 away. A.G. rolled out to short as he was jammed on a fastball in the 4th inning and off a check swing. Balance, he gave him the heat that time, but Weiss was perfectly positioned. Weiss couldn't have played it any better defensively to get Powell on that hot shot one hopper. So a good play of the ball game has fly deep to center and is popped up. Again, the second baseman Weiss was perfectly positioned as Brooks lined out on the fastball to the second baseman. And so at the end of the fifth inning, the score is Baltimore 4, New York nothing.
Here's Fuentes, who's
He's 4 runs down to go to the top of the sixth inning. Will pull Tom Seaver, and he will bat instead one of his catchers, Duffy Dyer. During the regular season, Dyer batted .257. He had 3 home runs and knocked over 12 runs. On the first pitch, the shortstop Belanger over near the hole for out number 1. Dyer, batting for Seaver, gets 1 pitch and grounds out short to first. He got the curve 3 times for 3 looking strikes.
Belt has walked and
On the year. He's a 33-year-older, been with quite a few ball clubs. Outside again, and he scored during the 3-run bottom of the 4th inning. We're 1 away in the top of the 6th, in the bottom of the 6th inning. Third baseman Charles with no trouble to retire Johnson easily, and that's 2 up and 2 down. Was towards the tail end of the season. He's primarily a 2 away. There's not a base runner on. 1-2. Pops him up in foul ground. Clendenin, the big tall first baseman, and Cardwell in relief has a 1-2-3 inning to retire the Orioles. And so at the end of the 6th inning, the score is Baltimore 4 and the New York Mets nothing.
Jose Alvarez, the new pitcher now.
The Baltimore pitchers have now allowed no runs in 39 consecutive World Series innings. Back in the '66 series, after the opening game, McNally, Palmer, and Bunker pitched consecutive shutouts against the Dodgers, and Cuellar has shut out the Mets here in the first 6 innings of this opening game.
To be remembered in that '66 World Series, the great relief job by Grabowski. For a base hit line to center field, and Clendenin has a 2-for-3 afternoon. Clendenin had the last base hit off Cuellar. As Kurt commented earlier, a local product here in Baltimore. Hendricks is going out to talk to Cuellar. In addition to Hendricks being a left-hand swinger, and that's one of the reasons, but only one, that he's in the ball game, started against Seaver and now batting against Cardwell. He loses him, and that will move Clendenin to second base. So now the Mets have their biggest rally of the ball game. The Mets are down by 4. They've come back many times during the season.
So those are 2 minor rule changes that are in effect here for the World Series.
Belanger couldn't get to it. The Mets may have their first run. Buford throwing home, and then Clendenin decides to stay at third base. Clendenin took a big turn. Yost held him up, and the Mets have the bases jammed with only 1 gone in the top of the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buford, however, is in position. Clendenin trying to come home on the throw, which is way off the third base line. Weiss got a good rip and lined it to fairly deep left field, and Buford's throw was wild and way wide of the plate. On the year, he batted .228 overall between the left and right sides, with a Seaver started the game and went 5 innings. A tough play for Brooks Robinson at third base. Extremely tough. He made the play.
Brooks Robinson putting on a fielding show here. This is the hardest play a third baseman has to make. Charging the ball, picking it up barehanded, and snapping the throw all in the same motion. And look at this throw, right on target with something on it. Robinson's made the 2 best fielding plays of the game so far.
And in the middle of the 7th inning, the score is Baltimore 4 and New York 1.
bringing Longoria
with series experience. He was in 2 ball games for the Cardinals back in the '64 series. Cuellar, kind of a free swinger. Get that outside pitch, was fooled by it. He had a lunge for it and couldn't get to it. 9 feet down both the left and the right field sides. It does not have the biggest runner since the 4th inning. A 2-out walk given by Taylor to Blair. and use that safety belt. Frank Robinson has been retired 3 times. He's running, and they've got him in a rundown. Taylor goes to Clendenin. Clendenin running back to Weiss. Weiss running him back, and Weiss will make the put out to retire the side. It goes 1, 3, 4 for the put out. And that means Frank Robinson will begin the bottom of the 8th inning. And so at the end of the 7th inning, the score is Baltimore 4 and New York 1. Screwball, fastball, and a let-up rainbow curve. 6 strikeouts for Cuellar. He has fanned A.G. twice, once looking and now swinging. Strike 1 on the foul ball, right into his hand. Right in the hole between Brooks Robinson and Mark Belanger. The last inning, the Mets had a rally going, a run and 2 hits they picked up. Now they try to start something afire with a 1-out single by Harrelson.
Cuellar today, and Cuellar might change his strategy a bit against him.
Cuellar. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left in the top of the 8th inning. And so, in the middle of the 8th inning, it's Baltimore 4, New York 1.
Rogers. So Flores did.
At Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, and in World Series history, the club that has won the first game of a World Series has then gone on to win 39 of them. And however, clubs which have won the first game of a World Series have been beaten back and lost 26. Frank went from 268 a year ago to 308 this year, but had that swing out in front. 2 strikeouts for Taylor in relief. He's faced 4 men. He's walked 1. Powell produced 22 home runs a year ago. He had 7 hits against Minnesota pitching. The Mets swept the Braves, and the Orioles did the same thing. They swept the Twins. 3 strikeouts in 2 innings of outstanding relief. Ron Taylor. And so at the end of the 8th inning, the score is Baltimore 4 and New York 1.
Move, make the move.
Wandy Peralta, the new pitcher.
1 ball, 1 strike. Got that precarious throw and won't make a throw. Cuellar probably realized that he wasn't handling the ball properly. Also realized he might have had a tight play on Swoboda. So in his haste to get to the ball and throw, he lost it completely. In the league among their catchers, but in both leagues. Out for Cuellar. 8 of them. And that would bring the Mets with a tying run to the plate. Continuing to warm, Rickert the left-hander and Watt the right-hander. That's Watt to the left and Rickert to the right. Bamberger still with Cuellar.
This is when they want that honest answer. Are you tired? Put his right-handed hitting line.
Run to the plate. Second baseman Johnson goes to first, and that's the ball game. Champsky, batting for the pitcher, has grounded out to end game 1 of the World Series. Baltimore has been victorious by a score of 4-1. A recap of the first game. The final score: the Orioles 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. The Mets 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error.
I got a screwball, the best one today. You know, I feel pretty good in the first 5 innings for the first ball. But after that, I got a pretty good screwball.
Well, what about this Mets lineup now? What is your impression of the Mets lineup? What about A.G.? What about Swoboda? What about some of the other hitters?
Well, no, I tell you, all the Mets, you know, from the first one to the sixth hitter, you got to be careful with us. You know, you can hit the ball out of the park anytime. You know, you can make no mistake with it. You got a pretty good ball club.